Hello everyone and welcome once again to another program of Prime Time. I'm your host Beverly. My guest today has taken on a big challenge to manage one of the biggest companies here on our island. So what is he doing now that he's in charge? What is his new job like? Well, you'll want to stick around if you want to find out what the answers are. Stay tuned and we'll be right back in a moment.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like knowing you're covered when your house gets flooded, getting your settlements quickly and fairly when a fire hits your home, and making sure your business can keep going even after an accident happens on site. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right, get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah, right. Accumulate $25 or more within one calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
Welcome back and thank you very much for joining us. This is Prime Time, and in our studio today we have the Chief Executive Officer of the Telem Group of Companies, and that's Mr. Kendell Dupersoy. He's what we would call the new kid on the block. And running such a large company, we thought it would be a good idea to get his take on what the job is like and what are some of the new innovations that he's going to be implementing. Thank you very much for joining us to the program. I have to say, I know Mr. Dupersoy, but I know you as Kendell.
Always a pleasure to be here with you in your studio. Several times, I think this may be my fourth.
Yes.
My fourth time on the show over the years.
But we've been around
How long
for a while.
have you been? Yeah, you've been around
almost
for
about 34 years we're going on.
You see, that's really
wow.
a long time.
Am I looking like 34 years on the program?
No,
all right.
You're doing a good job.
All right, that's a good way to start. So, all right. So how is your job going?
The job is going well, actually. One of the things that I always said when going into the job, one of the hardest things to do in management is to effect change. If you want to come in and you want to assess the situation and you want to make changes, it's always difficult to convince people that they need to be changed. With Telem, I could have skipped that step. Most of the employees and the vendors that we dealt with, they all wanted to see some kind of change in the company. It didn't have to be drastic. It's not like the company was being run horrible before,
right.
But they wanted a little tweaking here and there. So a lot of the things that I came in and I'm slowly, making some small changes here and there, they're being accepted. They've been very well accepted by the employees.
So is this a lot of meetings?
Very much so. It's a lot of meetings and I have long hours. I usually don't get home until 7:30 to 8 o'clock because during the day it's a lot of meetings and then at night is when I really do my administration. But it's good because tell my wife, for instance, that our kids are grown, so there's no coming home to dinner to eat with kids, and then her job is the manager as well, so we usually arrive like
around the
same time. So it get a job at the right time in my life, let's say.
And so when it was proposed to you, because we know that you were at the airport for many, many years.
16.
16 years?
16 years
right.
at the airport, yeah.
And when it was proposed to you for CEO of this company, sleepless nights on it?
Well, it happened kind of strange because, as you know, I had 6 years on a board, the supervisory board of directors of the airport, and at that time they didn't have a CEO, they had a managing board. And it worked out well for a few years, but I think over the last 2 years, we started to notice as a supervisory board that it wasn't quite working the way it should have been working. So what happened is that one of the board members, Mr. Hyro Bloom, kept saying, you should take the job. You know the stuff. You're here for 6 years already, so you should take the job. You should be able to do it. But it was kind of uncomfortable for me in the beginning because to go from a supervisory board and jump to being the CEO,
right.
That kept me up a little bit, wondering how would it be accepted. It's almost like you put yourself on a board to get the CEO position, which was definitely not the case. I had no intention of applying for the job at all until, one or two of the board members started saying, apply, do the interview, what could go wrong, you have it, and see what happens. And when I applied, I came out as one of the top two. And then we went to the supervisory board, submitted my name and Mr. Mingo's name to the shareholder representative, which is the shareholder representative is the Prime Minister. And they, with consultation with other parties, decided to offer me the job because they kind of said, I'm definitely qualified because of my experience over the 16 years at airport and being on the supervisory board, and also because they wanted to bring like a fresh view.
Yeah.
To tell them, to see how it would be if they got a fresh set of eyes to look into the company and see what we could do.
So what are some of the things that these fresh eyes are looking at?
Well, I think one of the major problems we have at Telem is basically our customer service. I think the customer service gets a bad rap, first of all, because I think that they try to do the best they can do. But for customer service to perform well, our technical division has to perform well.
Right.
And for our technical division to perform well, the commercial division, everything is intertwined. So right now what I'm trying to do is trying to bring up the technical division into a state that where they can really deal with a lot of the issues and more quicker, and that I'm doing that by implementing automation, because of course my degree is in computer science, so I'm all into automation. So I'm trying to implement different systems and stuff that will do a lot of things automatically, that you don't have to really get human involvement to do it, as well as I'm also looking at putting in different systems in place that would also be able, the customer will be able to do a lot of things online and stuff like that. We have a big project that we're going to be implementing where we're going to bring in a new web page that's going to have almost everything that you need to do, that you can do it online instead of having to
phone calls or to walk.
Right, to walk in and do it.
But that's where technology is today.
That's where it is, yes. And of course, telecommunication has very small margins right now. We don't have much profit. It's not like we make a lot of money because roaming is practically disappearing, and overseas connectivity is, so everything is going to our data, and data usually comes with a fixed price, because you need to provide data to, everything is going to run on data in the future, so you have to prepare for that. So even before I got there, they were already preparing by getting a new internet core and stuff like that were basically preparing to change the company from a voice-centric company into a data-centric company. So I kept that ball rolling now and trying to put things in place that can utilize that new data technology to provide a lot of different services to the community of St Maarten.
Yeah, when we talk about, honestly, I can't remember the last time I made an overseas call with WhatsApp.
Without WhatsApp, you mean? Yeah, because everybody does it now with WhatsApp, exactly. And you can see the person, you can view the person, and we're also in the process of implementing our LTE, fourth generation cellular technology, where you're going to be able to do that while you're driving. It's so it's going to be really fast internet on your phone while you drive. So that's even more going to erode the money you get from overseas calls. But you get it's just where the industry is going, and there's not much you can do with it. You can't fight it.
I'm going to ask you, the technology, it changes so quickly. How do you keep up? It has to be a big challenge for your company.
It is a big challenge for a small company like Telem, because one of the things that you have to worry about is getting a return on investment on a technology that you just bought maybe 1 or 2 years ago,
and
it's
been
already
around
changing
9 and 10 years already.
It's already changing, now, so you have now implemented. So we try to keep as current as possible when you look at the finances. But remember, we're not only providing service to the people of St Maarten, but it's also 2 million tourists coming at the harbor and 1.7 million coming in at the airport that also use our services. So if we can monetize those, then the business case becomes a lot easier when it comes to keeping up with the technology.
Right. Okay, we'll take a break, and then when we come back, I was going to ask you, what are some of the priorities? I know you mentioned all the different areas that you see need fixing, need working on, improving, and so, but there is, I suppose there's something that you really want to tweak and get going right away. Yes. So we talk about that when we come back. Stay tuned, and we'll be back in a moment. This is Prime Time.
People all across St. Maarten are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 fun mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of fun miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free fun miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles from within your reach.
A cruise is a great adventure, not only for passengers, also for us. The Port of St. Maarten. Our port always reflected the needs and aspirations of the time. from the first to the 1.75 millionth passenger in 2013. Our cruise story started in 1963 with our first cruise passenger. 50 great years later, 20 million passengers later, thousands of cruise berths later, we've become the leading port in the Caribbean. 50 fantastic years. Like a dream. The dream of Port St. Maarten lives on and reinvents itself every day. The best is yet to come.
At Travel Planners, we love what we do. Every day we help our clients plan their vacations, from honeymoons to family reunions, trade shows to conventions, school trips to sports tournaments. Our agents at Travel Planners can help you make better, wiser decisions on travel destinations and cruises and find you the lowest fares. Make some memories with help from Travel Planners in Phillipsburg and on the Airport Road, Simpson Bay. Visit our website at Planners SXM and like us on Facebook at St Maarten Travel Planners. We take care of all your travel needs.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. This is Prime Time, and I'm speaking to the Chief Executive Officer of the Telem Group of Companies, and that's Mr. Kendell Dupersoy. And so before we took the break, I was asking you if there is a particular thing that you'd like to see accomplished.
Well, definitely. My tenure at Telem for now is a 3-year contract. And one of the things that I definitely want to have accomplished by then is the fiber to the home project. I think that's going to put St. Maarten on a different level when it comes to telecommunications within the island. So that's one of the things that I'm really driving at. We're currently in a process of finalizing the contract with a group out of Israel, actually, and they came in, they won the contract, and what I like about their proposal, they're using a lot of local contractors. So they're not going to bring in like 300 people to work on it. They're actually, now they're already cutting deals and making agreements with the local contractors. So the local contractors are going to be doing a lot of the work. That's great. And that's going to be a really big boost to the economy of St. Maarten as well.
We know you've always been politically active and giving your opinions and things like. How are you going to blend this or not blend it at all?
Actually, I bite my lip a lot now.
Right.
I bite my lip because I want
I'm CEO, I can't say this.
It's not. I don't think that it's appropriate for somebody in this position to be politically active. You can go out and vote, but putting stickers on your car and going up on stages like I used to be before, I don't think that that's appropriate for somebody in this position. You have to deal with all political parties. They might know where you stand, but at least you shouldn't be outwardly with it. And so you have to deal with whichever government official is there. You have to give them the honor and respect that they deserve for being in the position.
So I like what you say, you have to bite your tongue a lot.
Yeah, I have to bite my tongue a lot.
Give us your opinion on the status of things in our community. We are seeing that we have a very bad season this year. You go on the front street and everybody's just, gloom and doom.
I think one of the problems is it's funny that, I'm a chief executive of a telecom company. And I think that telecom is what is really driving the change that we're seeing in St. Maarten right now. People don't really buy in stores, what they call the brick and mortar stores, as much as they did before. Right. Now everybody buys everything online. So we have to, maybe the vendors on Front Street and Back Street have to start to maybe have some kind of online presence where they can, attract tourists before they reach here, and put up their web pages and have like direct contact, work with a tourist office to start to maybe change up a bit, taxi drivers and stuff, start getting contact with people before they arrive so that people know what they expect when they're here. The restaurants, all of that. And once the infrastructure with the fibers in place, those things are all going to be possible. And it's not going to be ridiculously expensive to do it, and your marketing becomes very, very important when that's concerned. Because remember, you're competing not only with the store down the street, you're competing with stores all over the world because they can now go online and purchase whatever they want for usually a better price. So, you have to change the way you do business right now.
Many of our young students are finishing their college and they're not returning, or what's your take on that? And what you're seeing in your company happening with young people who have degrees and coming in looking for jobs?
Well, one of the things that I notice in the company is I don't think that it's really a valid point that the students don't want to come back. I think the majority of students do want to come back, but once they get the degrees and they come to the St Maarten, it's very difficult for them to find employment at an entry level where they're supposed to be. Some of them want to be, too much to
make the big buck right away.
To make the big buck right away. And I always tell them when I came, my first job was at GB, and I got 2,000 guilders a month, which at that time was a very good salary. So now it's the entry level positions are like 2,700 guilders, and a lot of them are not willing to take that when they could work in Holland for the 25 or 2,700 euros a month.
Right, exactly.
So I think that, but we can't compete from St Maarten for that. That's why it's very important for companies like ours to make contact with students before they graduate, so that we can kind of entice them to come back home and contribute to their island. Not only for the money, but you're going to get the money eventually. You're going to be able to live a good middle class life, but you have to grow into the field just like you would in any other places. Because in the 4 months that I've worked there, we've already hired 2 female engineers for our network operations center, 2 young engineers that are there, and the reports so far, they're very intelligent, very good. They're learning a lot. So, and the companies, we know there's a lot of openings, and we try to fill those openings as much as possible with entry-level students or former students, and so that they can gain experience. Because if we don't do it as the government-owned companies, their employment in the private sector is even more difficult.
Now we have summer just around the corner. Are you all opening for a lot of people coming back for summer jobs, for stage?
We do have a program where we have summer jobs. I think I signed about 8 for 8 students so far, and sometimes we try to do as much as possible. But it's not so much for the money, for the day. They just want something to do, and secondly, they gain a lot of experience by working in a company like that.
And also you can tap them for when they have the degrees, they can come back. That's a good way.
As a matter of fact, I believe one of the engineers, the female engineer, worked at Telcel before she had graduated, and now she came back, and now she's working as a job.
Yeah, I know a lot of young people who did that. Came and worked in companies and stuff.
I did that as a matter of fact, because like I said, my first job was at GB, and I always came back and worked at GB when I was there. So
when you were studying?
While I was studying. So it was it worked for me. So
yeah.
But I personally had no intention of staying in I studied in the US. I had no intention of staying in the US. I always had a mind that I was going to come back to St Maarten. I always felt it would have been more important to apply what you studied to the community. I mean, St Maarten was different back then. Most of us were locals. So coming back was like the thing to do. There were many that tried that were staying away, but now I think it's a little bit different now. It's more difficult to find employment in that area. But the jobs are changing, and I think our students have to start to study what is needed in the island than just going and doing what you may be interested in and might not be as profitable. I would say
you can't get a job
if I was going to study now, I would have studied law, because I think that there's a big market for lawyers in St Maarten, lawyers, judges. We need to start to get more local faces in those areas.
Okay, we'll take a break, and then we come back. We'll ask you. Describe a typical day for us and how it starts. I know I pass you every morning going to the gym, so that's one secret I know. And so stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and on Facebook. We'll be back in a moment. Stick around. The Daily Herald is my first source for up-to-date information and news. Putting together this program of prime time requires research and knowledge of current events. For local news, regional and international news, do read the Daily Herald.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Maarten, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
And so your day starts early because I'm going to work at 6:45 and I'm already passing you. Going down to the gym.
Yeah, I'm going out to the gym because I think
so your day starts early,
yeah,
actually.
it does. I get up at about 5:30. Get up, feed the dogs, make breakfast for the wife sometimes, and then
That's a nice husband.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
and then I go to the gym, I work out, and then I get ready at the gym and go straight to work.
Oh, that's how you do it?
Yeah, that's how I do it. I don't go back home, you know. So it's like, well, it's I did the same thing working at airport, and I've been doing it for a while. It relieves the stress and keeps me fit. And then when you start to get up in age, you get a blood pressure and cholesterol, and so if you want to eat a little bit normal food,
you have to
hit the gym and train.
And so do you do that every day?
Monday to Friday, yes, yeah, Monday to Friday.
And
on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's more cardio, a lot of, but I do punching, riding, bicycle, elliptical, and stuff like that. And on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we do with a little bit of weight. But I don't lift heavy. I just do it to stiff, a little toning. Yeah, nothing to. I don't want to become a bodybuilder.
I know, and your suits can't fit.
Yeah.
So tell us a typical day. So it seems as if you're starting with exercise and so on to calm you and get you prepared for the day. What's your typical day then like?
Well, usually, like I said, I get up at 5:30, go to the gym and work out for about 45 minutes or an hour, then take a shower and go to the work. I'm at work between 8:30 and 9 most mornings, and then from there it's checking out the meetings, seeing what documents I have to go through to sign off on, for instance, and also different projects that the different departments are involved in. I would get in contact with them to see how it's going. Sometimes, in the beginning of the thing, we talked about how I want to improve the customer service, but customer service improvement is contingent on technical being able to respond to the issues when customer service responds. So what I do a lot is I get in contact with the customer service manager or the marketing manager and find out if there's any sales that need to be done, and stuff like that. It's not. I try not to micromanage, but I try to keep it that they know I'm aware of what is going on in the company.
You're on top of things.
Yeah, and then after that is usually meetings, with various sometimes outside companies and internal meetings. On Mondays, for instance, we have a meeting with all the managers.
Every Monday?
Every Monday from 9 to hopefully 12. It usually runs over. But that's where we get to sit down and we get to hash out, what's going on in the company, set the priorities, how they're supposed to be. Take minutes so everybody gets the minutes and they know more or less what their responsibilities are. Recently, I also instituted meeting with each division once a month, so that they can give me more detail of what is going on in their specific divisions, and if I have to get involved in cross-checking between divisions to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Is it a lot?
It's a lot, but it's fulfilling in the fact that I see the employees know that we're going in the right direction. And that's the most satisfying thing. I know that I get a lot of cooperation from all the employees, and they seem to,
That's a great start.
Yeah,
because that could be a tough area.
Yeah, it is a very, very great start. And I must also mention that I have a very good rapport with the union as well. That's important. But we try to be, I think the union leader, Mr. Avers, is a fair person. When we sit down, we might disagree on something, but we always come to an arrangement that is beneficial to both the company and he, his responsibility to the employees and my responsibility to the company. So,
how do you that myth of the Telcel? I'm telling Leslie, I'm interviewing the CEO of Telcel and not Telem group of companies.
Well,
how do you fix that in the public's perception?
I don't really think it has to be fixed that much because the Telcel, being a mobile arm of the Telem group of companies, is the most marketed part of the Telem group of companies. But we also have other parts of the Telem group of companies that we use. Some of them we don't market at all because it's backdoor stuff. Like for instance, Smithcoms, which is our overseas arm. We don't market that really, so people wouldn't hear anything about Smithcoms. They only hear about Telem and Telcel, but there's also Telnet, but people usually refer to it as Telcel as well. But that's Telnet. And I think maybe going forward, you will start to hear more about the Telem group of companies and Telem TV, and because we're all getting into different areas. So we bought cable TV, so we're getting into digital television and over-the-top boxes. So that's also an area that we're going to be getting into, and those things are going to be more marketed. So therefore, I believe that eventually they'll know that Telcel, Tel TV, if that's what we call it, you know.
And so, landlines, is that going to be a thing of the past?
Well, landlines are never going to be a thing of the past because that's where we run our internet.
You need it for your internet.
Yes, you need it for your internet. It's all, but it is going to change significantly because right now we have copper-based landlines, and eventually the copper-based landlines are all going to be replaced with fiber. So if you're going, what we're doing now, we're going from the western part of the island, coming over to the eastern part of the island first. So the western part, which is what we call over the hill,
right?
You know, they're going to be the first to be implemented on a fiber network. And once we start rolling on a fiber, the copper network will not exist anymore. So the landlines will be there, but the phones are going to be different. They're going to be digital phones, you know, IP phones that you're going to use and stuff like that. So everything is going to be like data, you know, there's been no difference between your voice. That's the way it's going on. Everything is data.
At home, you said that you went away to study. You went to the United States to do your studies. I know you have, is it 3 boys?
3 boys, yes.
3 boys. Yeah. And what are their ages?
23, 20, and 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so they all went.
The 19-year-old is leaving this fall to go to Florida to college. The other 2 are studying in Holland. One is studying economics, and the other one is studying, like me, IT.
Wow, wow, wow. Is it something that you instilled at home that Dad went, you know, Dad went to college and...
Very much so.
There's no choice about staying back in St Maarten?
There was no choice about it whatsoever. I told them they have to get my degree or better. You know, I think I told them from very young, and you know, hope like at least now it's working out that way, and hopefully they can all graduate. You know, it's going pretty well. The both 2 that are in college right now in Holland, they're getting pretty good grades and everything, so they're doing well.
You monitor that? You and your wife monitor that?
Yeah, we talk to them often. You know, like it's WhatsApp. You can really keep in contact with them now. You know, and they can see you and you can see them, and they have support. You know, the support is closer. Before, when I was in college, my mother had to call me once a week because it was so expensive to do it. So you have to still write letters, and now it's email, and within 2 seconds I get a reply from my son, you know, and stuff like that. Hey, Dad, need money. You know?
I know.
Like,
the most important email. There's something that we're doing right.
Something you're doing
Something
right.
we're doing right. Thank you so much, and we wish you all success.
Thank you very much.
And come back again when you have some new innovations. Thank you very much.
Will do.
This has been Prime Time. Thank you very much for watching us. I'll see you next week, and may God bless you.